We finished off the season with a win against Northern Iowa, and it's a different kind of energy in our room right now. We didn't win too much down the home stretch, but then getting a win brought some momentum with us. Guys look good. Guys are ornery. They're they're in there and they're angry. I think we have something to prove heading into the Big Tens, and we're just trying to get all 10 guys to the NCAA championships to give us the best possible chance to go and do some damage at the NCAA. So very excited. Can't wait to get to Ann Arbor this weekend.
Anyone have any questions for Coach?
Coach, just looking at the seedings, do they really matter at this point of the game?
You'd like to be the 1 or 2 seed. It's one less match you have to wrestle, but they don't. We've just been preaching to the guys all week, right? You've probably wrestled the guys somewhere along the line the last couple of years. It really doesn't matter. It's so tough, our conference. You show up, you compete. The next guy's just as tough or even better. So we're not wrestling numbers. We're gonna go out and wrestle guys that are right in front of us, and I'm very confident in what these guys are going to be able to do.
Brian,
can you tell us about the path that Austin has to get to a championship match?
Yeah, they seeded him second. I don't understand. And it's probably an issue that we're going to be taking up with our coaches association with why the coaches are actually doing the seedings, because it's kind of a crazy deal in my eyes when you've got coaches doing the seedings. But it's probably something I shouldn't talk about. But his path is, he's a number 2 seed. He's going to have to wrestle the winner of 7 and 10. I believe it's Indiana and I don't even know who else. But I'm not too concerned about Austin. He's been there, done that. He's a Big Ten champ. You could seed him last. He's confident in himself. He's healthy now. He's been off for 5 weeks, which is good because he's had a couple other little minor injuries. So he's had 5 weeks to heal from his last one, and we're very excited. He looked clean and crisp today. He looked really good. But he's going to have a tough one. The top 3 guys, the top 5 guys at that weight are extremely tough. The Northwestern kid is extremely tough. That's who he got hurt against. The number 1 seed, Sammy Sasso, we're undefeated against him. Beat him this year in a match. They said it doesn't count. But it counts because there was a score, and it was a 7-minute match. It's just, for some reason, it doesn't count, I guess, and that's why they seeded him second. But and 4 and 5 seed are, Murin from Iowa and Van Ness from Penn State. Both guys he's beat, but both very tough guys. So whoever comes out of the bracket, Austin will be ready, and he told me he's ready today, and I haven't heard that in a while. So I'm excited because when Austin Gomez is focused and ready, he really is the best guy in the country.
Zach, go ahead.
You mentioned you said that your guys were ornery. How does that maybe help come tournament time to prove what you guys want to prove?
Well, I say that because the room has been I've never seen the room as intense or as chippy, I guess I should say, as I have the last 10 days. It's a long season. It's hard to come in and stay intense and focused for every single practice for the whole year. And these guys now are, some of these backups are taking them down, and there might be a cheap shot here or something. They're getting ready. They're ready. They want to be at the Big Tens already. We got to rein them back. So it's a good sign that they're like that, and it's nice to see that they're ready to go. That's kind of for me to see that, and it's coming from 8 or 9 of them right now that they're ready to go. They're ready to compete, and we'll back them down here in the last couple of days and get ready to go.
Mark.
Chris, I apologize if you had mentioned this before I stepped in, but in terms of the way the season goes, do you and your wrestlers kind of look at this sort of as as a fresh start, so to speak? Because, the kind of tournament's a whole different deal than the dual season.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a fresh start, because we do. We like dual meets. We focus on dual meets. We want to do well in dual meets. But, yeah, everybody's 0-0 now. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody's got a little banged up. It's a fresh start. If you didn't have a great preseason is what I call it. You have a chance to go rectify that and go get to the national tournament and do some damage. So, and as far as the guys that have been on a roll and doing well, we got to keep it going and keep putting the hammer down and go win Big Ten titles. That's what we're going there to do.
Brian,
can you share a story with us of Garrett Model and maybe his impact on this program?
Yeah, that's a great guy to bring up. Garrett Model. Was here when we got here our first year. He was one of the last guys that Coach Davis recruited, the last class. And never did I think Garrett Model would be in our lineup. And for the last 5 years, Garrett Model's been in our lineup. And he has continually gotten better. The development he had, I mean, you guys can look up the stats, but I don't know how many wins he had his first couple of years, 3, 4, 5, and then last year he makes it to the national tournament. And, of course, he gets a draw. I think we drew the number, I don't know what it was, the number 2 seed, and then on the backside when he loses, he draws a defending national champ who got upset. Garrett Model was ready to win some matches at the national tournament. This year, again, he's been ranked as high as 14 or 15 in the country. He beat the guy that was ranked 3rd in the country. They seeded him 9th at the Big Tens, which, again, it is what it is. But he's a dangerous draw. He's the best kid off the mat, on the mat. He works with the youth. He was just telling me a story today how his little youth basketball team got beat 48-0 yesterday. He said the referees were even trying to cheat for the kids, and if it went out of bounds he always got the ball. Then they would tell the kids that hey, you guys are shooting at this hoop, but the other kids, you defend the other hoops, and no one was down there, and he still couldn't make a basket. So it's great. He had a flag football team. He's a great kid. He's getting his master's degree, and he's going to be one that we're really, really going to miss in our program because he came in. He's a typical quiet guy anyway, but he came in, put his head down, and he's worked for the last 5 years, 6 years, and he's going to be missed. But he's special. He's very special, and that's what our program is built on, guys like that.
Mark.
To close last time I saw you guys at the Big Tens, I asked you about Dean, and that day you weren't really happy with his performance. And I guess I'm just wondering in terms of what have you seen in terms of how he's responded, as you through Northern Iowa and obviously heading into the Big Tens.
Yeah, I mean his match against Northern Iowa, we dominated a kid that's ranked top 13 in the country. So DJ's never a guy that stays down too low or stays high too long. He's very, very even keeled. So very, very his last 10 days have been amazing. He's focused. He's locked in. Today was one of the best days he's had too, and I'm very excited for DJ. He's sitting really good. He's gonna do really well, and there's not much to say except that this kid is the real deal, and he's gonna have to go put together 3 good matches at the Big Tens to go win a title. But he's definitely capable.
Zach.
What makes these next couple of weeks maybe the best time of the year?
Well, I mean, the National Wrestling Tournament's the best. It's the best thing ever. I don't know if any of you guys have been there, but I highly recommend you get into the National Wrestling Championships. It's a sold out venue. It's one of the hardest tickets to get. It's going to be the hardest ticket. Tulsa's very small, and it's exciting. That is it's the best tournament in the world. I've been to the Olympic Games. I've been all over the place, World Championships. This is the best tournament in the world to be at. And our kids, when they get there, to be a national champion is one of the hardest things they're ever going to have to do in their lives. And to understand that the work that they put in, the injuries they've overcome, the hardships it's taken to get there, you'll never see so many tears in your life at a tournament. Most of them are happy tears, a lot of them are sad tears, but you're going to see a bunch of grown men cry at the national tournament, and that's what makes it special when they realize everything they've done comes to fruition and they're national champions. But we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. This Big Ten tournament, again, it's like the mini NCAAs. I don't know what, the Big Ten is, you wrestle in the quarterfinals, the semis, and the finals at the national tournament right now at the Big Ten tournament. So,
Anything further for Coach? Okay.
Coach, we know that Trent didn't have the greatest performance at last year's NCAAs, and he spent the offseason really packing on a lot of muscle. I think at one point someone had mentioned he put on about 50 pounds of muscle between then and now. Could you just talk to us about Trent's focus this year? And I know heavyweight is a pretty loaded, not only in the Big Tens, but in NCAAs. So. Yeah,
he's in another loaded weight class, but he's what he's done to his body this year, it's harder than losing weight. To be able to gain that much weight, to do it with his lean muscle mass, and to be diligent about it, it started last March. So almost 1 year, he stayed disciplined to his diet, to his, 14,000 calorie diet a day. which is hard. He's getting bloated. He's this, that. He's fighting off foods. What do you do when you're traveling? How do you consume all that? And the strength that he's put on in the weight room has been amazing. We have the best support staff in the country. We talked about it today at some of these meetings in all areas, academically, strength and conditioning, nutrition. The university's provided him everything. But he's in a loaded weight class. He's going to have to go and perform. And he knows last year's season wasn't the best for him. And that's why he came back for his 6th year, and he's ready to go have a good performance at the Big Tens and, go get on that podium at the NCAA tournament.